2, 1. From Boston, Massachusetts to Adelaide, Australia, and everywhere in between, talking local and national sports and just about anything discussed in a tavern. Broadcasting from South Lyon, Michigan. Welcome to Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330 with your hosts, Rich and Tom.
We are back.
We're back again.
And as we roll in here on Wednesday, the midweek show, guess who else is back?
Well, you're about ready to...
Welcome for the first of ESPN's coverage of National Hockey League action.
Delighted to have you with us for yet another one of those big moments in sports. For a hockey fan, it doesn't get any better than this. Nice one moving. Blue line check. Score! To Gretzky! Scored! The greatest goal scorer in National Hockey League history. It is back on the floor! On the board! Oh, Korea! Do you believe it? Do you believe it? Raymond Mark, a dream has come true! Look at the sound of a Stanley Cup champion.
This brings chills down my spine.
Yes.
Absolute chills down my spine.
This was the good old time of hockey.
This kind of takes me back to our previous episode of 90s where we talked about it, and all those games. It's just like a flood of memories back.
So yes, today, actually it was yesterday, but they finalized it today. A 7-year agreement with the NHL and ESPN. They're going to take another stab at the hockey, which is very exciting. I think it's really going to get the sport out to a broader audience. NBC does a fairly good job, but I think ESPN can market it a little bit better, and I think more people will jump on board with it being on ESPN. So I'm pretty excited about it.
You know what I'm really excited about is the fact that NHL TV is going to merge with ESPN Plus.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I can see my rate going up.
Well, I mean,
I can see my rate going up because of this.
And
but
ladies and
I'll
gentlemen,
deal with it.
his current rate is free of charge.
Well, no, not the NHL TV.
Well-
I mean, I pay for ESPN Plus, so I can only imagine.
I got you.
I can only imagine that's going to go.
I
up.
thought you were talking about NHL TV, but
Yeah.
Well, we'll do what we have to do. That way we have it on. But that's awesome. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's long overdue. I seriously think that Bettman finally did something good for a change. Normally, he's not a fan favorite at all. He'll still get his ass booed off everywhere he goes.
Yeah, he does.
It doesn't really matter, but I'm really excited to see ESPN back in the fold again when it comes to NHL hockey.
Now they have to make sure that they knock it out of the ballpark with the color coordination crew of Gary Thorne.
They have to. Gary Thorne has to come
And
back.
who is the other guy?
We
just said it a few minutes ago.
we just said it a second ago.
But
Bill
Clement, Gary
Clement,
Thorne.
Gary
You know,
Thorne.
you
Hey,
figure
Gary Thorne is the one that sticks out in that story that Mike Ivesall said.
nope.
About we just said his goddamn name. Bill Clement. Yeah, you're the man. No, you're the man. You know, so
he might have been doing some fanboying, but
oh yeah, he definitely fanboying on that one.
so I anticipate Steve Levy, John Buccigross, and the old coach.
Well, I'm really excited. Hopefully they do it. Hopefully they go back and do the NHL Tonight that they used to do about, I would settle for like 2 to 3 times a week.
Now, what is that going to do for like the NHL Network?
Well, according to that, it looks like it's all going to merge in.
So you think they're gonna still do their post game shows and all that, their highlight shows on NHL Network, or will that kind of move over to the ESPN side, or will it be an ESPN Plus side?
It might be an ESPN Plus,
because I know the NFL does that with the NFL.
But I mean,
highlight show.
Not only with that though, with it going to ESPN Plus, the NHL TV merger with ESPN Plus, it is also going to give the NHL another platform because they do have Hulu, and it will show up on Hulu Live.
Sure.
So there's an additional platform that they could, get it out. Really, in my personal opinion, it's great. It's a great marketing strategy that the NHL is going to be utilizing in order to reinvigorate the game.
Well, I think they have enough players that they can sell the league on. There's enough known players, and I think it's really getting to the point of popularity in a lot of the lower market areas that people are really, really buzzing. I mean, like JP said in our last episode, the two best scoring teams right now are Florida teams.
Yeah, well, not necessarily the scoring, but the two top teams in the league right now are both in the state of Florida right now.
So the game is getting out there, and I think it's being more popular, and so it's the perfect time for them to strike on it, and good for the NHL, good for the ESPN, and we'll see how far it can go.
Oh yeah, for sure. And thanks for everybody taking their time out at 6:30 on Wednesday to listen to two guys ramble on and on and on about nothing. But we're gonna keep rambling on and on.
We're gonna drink beer while we do it. So.
Yeah, this will be the first one of the night. Probably not going to be the last one, but
there's a good chance.
I mean, right now, midweek, I like these midweeks because I feel like we're not behind the eight ball when it comes to getting information out or speaking our opinions on every topic. It doesn't necessarily have to be sports, any topic, but the midweek, I really enjoy it.
It's not old news by the weekend. And if we weren't to do these midweeks, everyone's dissected all the stories that we would talk about.
Yeah, so, and they're just like, why do we listen to you?
Yeah,
but
never heard of you. Next,
exactly. But not surprised. Well, I would say 50-50 surprised and not surprised. The Lions not using the franchise tag. I want to say, and probably two of their best players from last season, and Kenny Galladay and Romeo Okwara.
I think the Lions took a step back as far as Galladay's concerned and realized the guy didn't want to be here. Yeah. So if we franchise him, you're only going to piss the guy off. And will he show up? You're going to pay the guy, what was it, $18 million? And he had already turned down that somewhere in that ballpark. So they looked at it. They don't need any cancer in the clubhouse, we'll say. And knowing that he didn't want to be here, don't force the guy's hand to stay here. Let him move on. And the more I've thought about it, I don't disagree with it. I think it was a good decision to make. But as far as Okwara is concerned,
that was shocking because he had. But if you look at his stats, year to year, he's kind of one of those players who demonstrated inconsistency, and last year happened to be a really good year for him.
He reminds me a lot of Cliff Averill as far as his skill set. And Cliff Averill was that way when he was here. He was up and down, but he had 10 sacks this past year. And do you think it was more of a situation of them saying, well, if we franchise him, we're going to have to pay this guy like almost $20 million. Let's try to work out a deal, which my hope is that they try to work out a deal with him because I like him as a player. I think he would be really good on that edge, and they could build off of him through the draft or maybe bring in a free agent. But that's the route I really like to see them go. So the not franchising him doesn't necessarily surprise me because I do think they have something in the works, behind the scenes, as they like to say. So, that would avoid them from paying so much for him.
But I mean, they tried.
Pay that man his money.
They tried to pay him his money, and
Galladay.
They offered him 18 or 19 million or something like that, and he turned it down. He's like, no. So it just tells you that he did not want to be there.
But I was watching the Sean Palegian show today on Woodward Sports, and they were mentioning that Galladay is not necessarily a receiver that's going to get away from the defender. He'll go up and get the ball, but as far as beating the defender, he's never been known to do that. He doesn't get much separation. So, I mean, maybe he's not the receiver that a lot of people around here think he is, and maybe Brad Holmes and the knee biter feel the same way.
And the one thing that I'm glad that they did not franchise him is because I want him to blow it up. Granted, there were side-by-side comparisons with Galladay and Calvin Johnson within the first 47 games, and there was glaring similarities between the numbers that they had. Same guy throwing the ball, so they can't say it was this guy or it was this guy. It was the same guy throwing the ball to him, and I just think for the amount of money that you would have had to spend on keeping him in the franchise tag, that you're really not doing the team as a whole service and justice, because you what you're trying to do is you're trying to build for years. We know next year they're not going to be shit. Yeah. They might win 4 games, and I'll take it because I'm okay with because that. I know, but I want them to. I really want them to take that money and. In the free agent market, you're going to pick up just maybe 1 or 2 free agents,
and they're out there.
You're not going to. I mean, you might get a guy who surprises the shit out of you. You might get a dud, but they're going to go and they're going to shore up that roster by picking guys on 1 and 2 year deals, because what they're trying to do is build up through the draft, and I think that's where they're going to make it.
So to me, definitely, that was kind of my next point. This tells me that it's a receiver at 7. If that's saying they stick at 7, and here's another, here's a name that has popped up, and I know every Lion fan is probably rolling their eyes. Kyle Pitts from Florida, another tight end. I don't want another tight end here.
No.
There was a lot of people that were chomping at the bit saying, Pitts, he's a tight end, but he's more of a wide receiver. We already have that. Yeah. We already have that.
Yeah.
So let's get a playmaker that can make Hockenson the hippie that much better. So to me, that tells me they're gonna go receiver in the first round, and there's 3 of them that are day 1 starters in the NFL.
Yeah, but do you think they're gonna be there for us at the 7th pick if we stay at 7?
Two of the 3 will be there. 2 of the 3. I think Chase will be there, and I do think Waddle will be there. I think Devonta Smith proved his value. He'll be a top 5 pick more than likely, and but Waddle and Chase will probably be there. But that's the thing. If there's an opportunity to move down and get some more picks, I think they'll do that, because there's plenty of talent, in the mid-level, the first round, and they've proven that they're going to do what's best for the team. So if they stick at 7, it's going to be a receiver. If they drop down, and I don't see them dropping, I've seen mocks of them, trading with San Francisco, so going to like 12. So if they go 12,
they're going Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons will be there.
So you just brought up something about team. What I really want to do is I want to take this opportunity to welcome a new team and team members to the iLogic Media family.
Yes.
Starting next week, Tuesday, there is a new show coming out that myself and you are actually going to be at the inaugural show. I'm going to be running the producer board for a couple of buddies of mine. They were on a couple episodes ago with their trading cards, and I'll tell you right now that episode went off like wildfire.
That was our highest analytics show.
Yeah, Coach Pat and George Jackson. Their new show that's coming out. It's called what was it called?
The OC.
The OC. The OC. Pat, if you're on, just go ahead in the comments.
Is it off center?
Off center. That's
center.
what it is. The Off Center Sports Card Trade Show, and I'm really excited. I was working with these guys today on some concept stuff for their intro, exit, and everything like that. And I'm really excited to help these guys and, be involved with these guys. So it should be a lot of fun.
And I just looked at the board and I see my brother-in-law, Mr. Drew Pettit. Shit, yeah, buddy. I see you. Thanks for watching. Thanks for looking.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
And then so and getting back with the NFL, I was really bummed out to see that Allen Robinson, he got franchised. I was really pissed off about that because this whole offseason, following Twitter and looking at what he posts and like that, all signs, I'm not going to say pointed, but kind of lean to the direction that he was possibly going to make his return back to the Metro Detroit area.
I'm shocked on that one. I am shocked on that one because he pretty much made it known week 14 last week when he completely took any inclination of him being on the Chicago Bears. He took it off his Instagram. And then all his Detroit posts and this and that. Oh. So he clearly didn't want to be in Chicago. And at this point, why would you want to? It's such a mess offensively. Who's going to be the quarterback? Yeah. Is Matt Nagy going to be there by mid-season? I doubt.
The guy put up, but the guy put up good hella numbers.
Oh, he performed
with shitty guys. Throwing the ball to him.
But he wants a long-term deal, and he deserves it. He's always been a performer, and no matter, he started with Jacksonville, and then he ended up in Chicago, and he's always put up numbers. He's been their number one. And to franchise a guy, I think you're going to see in Chicago what could have happened here if we would have franchised Galladay.
You get a guy
he doesn't want to be there.
You get a guy that's here who does not want to be here, and then of course you're stuck with him. The only thing that would have made some sense, but you're almost flipping a coin or taking a gamble on it, is if you would have franchise tagged Galladay, and you're like, with the intention that he's not going to finish the season in Detroit, we're going to try to get something for him. If you got hurt in week 2, you lost.
Which he has a track record. He does. Getting hurt.
He does. And then and this year it was kind of one of those weird years where he was oft injured and then decided to sit out. I mean, but then again, I'm not a guy in Allen Park,
right?
Talking to his trainers and stuff like that. The guy probably had a serious injury.
It just seems like it was there. It was his back, and then it was a hamstring, and then it was a hip. So, I mean, ultimately, the Lions did the right thing by letting him go, and I'm surprised nobody's picked him up by now, but he'll definitely probably be signed by the weekend.
Free agency starts on the 17th.
Okay.
And it'll be after St. Patrick's Day.
My guess right now, and from everything I've heard, Stafford was kind of lobbying the Rams to kind of, if Detroit didn't do what, didn't franchise him, hey, I'd like to have this guy here. And
but they don't have the money.
But I was just going to say
unless he goes there on a huge discount,
right,
then he'll be there.
Backload a contract or guarantee a bunch of that money. But they just don't have it right now. So who knows? We'll see. I mean, Galladay did well here in a smaller market, but
Drew, to answer your question, I like Goff as a Lion as a stopgap, but not a
long-term fix.
Not an end-all, be-all. I still would like them to try to find somebody, and they don't have to go out this year and find somebody, or they don't need to go out and find somebody next year. Yeah. They have time because they keep calling it a retool, but let's call a spade a spade. It's a rebuild, and I think that by them going through and picking him up, then they really don't have the pressure just to take a quarterback.
Yeah, it definitely having him. He's 26. He's 2 years removed. 2 years removed from the Super Bowl. So that having him, that option frees up their decision making when it comes to the draft, because God knows they have a lot of
we know
holes to fill.
They do,
and so filling holes. There you go. Yeah. And the big thing coming into this year was, do you go get a quarterback? Now they don't necessarily have to, so they can focus on their holes.
Man, you're really hitting us with these ones right here. His strengths are, he does not throw the ball like Matthew Stafford did. Matthew Stafford was a gunslinger.
Yeah.
I mean, he could really get the ball in some tight spaces. Goff is not that guy. The guy made it to a Super Bowl, and let's just say he has the intangibles, but however, I think his Super Bowl appearance was really based on his defense that he had that year.
And he had a defense. He had a good running game.
Yeah, you had what's his Todd Gurley.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Gurley.
But Gurley's knees were pretty much shot by the Super Bowl, so that's why they didn't do a whole lot.
Yeah.
But I like to think Goff is Stafford 10 years ago, maybe. I mean, he's got the intangibles. He's not really that mobile.
Yeah.
He can, pull the ball back and run, but he's more of he's like a Kirk Cousins type of a player. And I think if they can get the running game going, if they had an offensive line that was suitable, you never know. You got a Pro Bowl tight end to build off of. So he's got some tools. I think he's going to be okay. I mean, he's not going to wow you with a lot of stats. He's not going to be in the top 10 in stats. I think he's going to be serviceable. And if you had to keep him for 2-3 years, that's okay.
Yeah.
If you had to develop a quarterback behind him, that's okay.
Speaking of quarterbacks, I you know what? As much as a disdain I have for Jerry Jones, because I think he is just too overly involved, and he's turning out to be like who was the owner of the Raiders? Art.
Just win, baby.
Yeah,
Al Davis.
Al Davis. He's starting to really get on my nerves.
Well, he's the owner/GM.
Well, he's starting looking like him too. But
He
but you
needs
know what
more
though? But
Botox.
but I'll give him all the credit in the world. When Dak Prescott went down with that ankle injury, he said, "Don't worry, we'll take care of him. We'll take care of him, whatever." Well, motherfucker,
He stuck to his word. And Jerry Jones has always been about the team and the brand and himself. So kudos to him for sticking to his guns.
Yeah, he got paid.
But it's only a 4-year deal, but $160 million, $75 million up front in the first year.
Oh yeah,
But there's a lot of money locked up in three players. So what is that going to do for the rest of the team? Yeah, you might have Dak putting up 500 yards, which he was doing before his unbelievably disgusting injury.
that was terrible.
But if it's just him doing it and they're not able to stop anybody, that could be a problem for New York. However, they play in the worst division probably in the history of the NFL, the NFC least. So damn well they are going to probably be the front runners going in, and rightfully so. They ended the season pretty hot, and if it wasn't for
you got $106 million
wrapped up in three
offensive players.
And that was the problem here. They had all that money wrapped up with Stafford. They couldn't afford any help.
Yeah.
So what is that going to do? But again, they're going to they play in the least division. And so who's going to be the football team's quarterback? Danny Dimes can't run 20 yards without falling on his ass. Saquon Barkley can't stay healthy. The Eagles, that's just pure chaos.
Yeah, but you know what though? The Washington football team, if they get a quarterback, if they get a quarterback, they will be probably the best team in the least
because of their defense.
Yep,
and,
exactly.
There's a lot out there. There's options, and you got to believe that the WFT. The Fighting Riveras are going to be, making a push to maybe,
and that's a great
trade up,
and that's a great feel good story too. We're not going to dive into that, but that's a good feel good story for Ron Rivera, and next probably maybe this weekend or maybe next week, getting closer to maybe our midweek show next week, which should probably be the last one before we go on a little bit of a break for a week. Or a weekend, or however you want to call it. But no, we should have more information once we start. Once we start getting to go. on the free agency buzz going. Well,
yeah, because it's the 17th.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of signings early St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah. So
that could be a fun day out here in the Speakeasy.
Well, I'm leaving the next morning, so I don't know if I'll be getting
do a little day drinking.
Yeah, no, you have to wait till I get home from work. But today started the Big Ten tournament. Michigan, man, hopefully Michigan bounces back after their 2 losses last week. In order for MSU to get in to the dance, they're going to have to win 2 games. Minimum,
absolutely.
Minimum to even get any type of consideration to go.
Them winning against Michigan last week opened the door to the conversation of them getting into the tournament. So I think 2 wins will get them in, maybe even 1, because it's Izzo. He has such a a strong reputation among the elitists in the NCAA. So yeah, definitely at least 1, my opinion. But Michigan, they got to shake off last week. It was a bad week. They lost to the Fighting Illini, and then they beat Michigan State, and then go out to East Lansing and lose to the Fighting Ishpias. So that's that's a tough one to swallow. But
why do you call them the Fighting Ishpias?
Because the world famous bench player on the 2000 team, Matt Ishbia.
Oh, okay.
Who would rather spend money donating and then instead of paying other people. But anyways, I digress. That's another situation.
Okay,
but,
I was always wondering where that was coming from.
Yeah,
now I know.
Yes. He was on the 2000 team. So,
okay.
But yeah, they have to shake that off. But with Michigan, you look at it. They lost Eli Brooks early in that game. He turned his ankle. All indications are he's doing well, and he may play Friday, which, he's one of my X factors because he comes off the bench and he can shoot and he can drive the lane and he plays a hell of a defense. Okay. So you're missing that piece. Understandable that they would go down and lose. Here's the other thing. Hunter Dickinson has not played well the last 3 games, maybe even the last 4 games. He has not played well. He's gotten into foul trouble early, and that's affected him. That the go-to was always get the ball down low to Dickinson, and he's 7'2". He's big. He's a huge body, and he has been bad.
Yeah,
I think he only scored 13 points, and most of those came in the last probably 5 minutes of the second half. But he needs to be assertive, and he needs to stay out of foul trouble. And they just have to look back at last week as, okay, that's a learning curve, and move forward. It's a new tournament. Let's go. Let's get at it. But their first game will be Friday.
Yeah.
It'll be a 10:30 a.m. tip.
Oh, no shit.
How do you get amped for that?
Go to bed early?
In Chicago. Or as Mr. Bill Wirtz would say, Chicago. Shout out to Bill Wirtz.
So, since we're on the basketball topic, what the hell is going on in Miami?
And who is this guy?
In my personal opinion, he's a nobody. Hey, what's up, Phil? How you doing, Chappy?
Chappy Chap.
Little Chappy Chap. Hopping in here for a minute. Hope all is well, and stick around. We got a little bit of baseball stuff to talk about.
You need a fantasy fix
in a few minutes here.
Go check out Chappy's show.
Oh yeah, that guy, the analytics and everything like that. So if you want, head over to iLogic Media tomorrow on Thursday, and why don't you get yourself a nice tall glass of whiskey and catch up with Chappy on baseball.
He'll educate you for sure.
Oh yeah,
but this guy in Miami, Myers Leonard.
Yeah.
If this isn't white privilege, I don't know what is.
Yeah, the guy's an idiot.
He just goes off on a tangent while playing a video game.
Yeah.
Knowing there's ears, he's playing online, knowing there's people listening, and they know who he is, although I don't know who the hell he is.
Yeah.
Never heard of you.
But
yeah, I mean, it's just stupid. And Rich will put it up on the screen here.
So, I mean, what he did is he thought he was a tough guy while he was on. I think he was on Twitch, but
Yeah,
he was playing a game on
Call of
Twitch or
Duty
something
or
like that.
something. Yeah,
And he starts rambling off some not so nice remarks. I'm not going to go into it or anything like that, but a response came from another professional athlete who said
they were anti-Semitic remarks.
Yeah, and he says,
amongst other language that he probably shouldn't have been using. But
I tell you right now, I don't know how people would take this one way or the other when it comes to this. But Julian Edelman's response on Twitter to the guy, I thought it was great. Here it is. He says, an open letter to Myers Leonard. So we've never met. I hope we can one day soon. I'm sure you've been getting lots of criticism for what you said. Not trying to add to that. I just want to offer some perspective. I get the sense that you don't use that word out of hate, more out of ignorance. Most likely, you weren't trying to hurt anyone or even profile Jews in your comment. That's what makes it so destructive. When someone intends to be hateful, it's usually met with great resistance. Casual ignorance is harder to combat and has greater reach, especially when you command great influence. Hate is like a virus. Even accidentally, it can spread. It could rapidly spread. I'm down in Miami fairly often. Let's do a Shabbat dinner with some friends, and I'll show you a fun time. So, if those who don't know, Shabbat is a dinner that they do at sundown in the Jewish religion, and I think it was perfect. I mean, it was going out there to say, and I think Julian Edelman probably goes, you know what, this guy's young. He's probably very ignorant, really doesn't know what he's saying or what he means by what he says. And so he was kind of just trying to, educate the guy a little bit on it. But I don't really know, but hats off to Julian Edelman for being the bigger person and saying, hey, look, it was an ignorant comment that you made, whether you knew what you were talking about or what you don't know what you're talking about. I'm here to offer support, and hey, I'd love to have you come out and learn a little bit about our culture, our religion, and everything like that. So hats off to him.
He was loosely using a very derogative word, we'll say. So maybe he does know what it means. Maybe he doesn't.
He might.
Hats off to Julian Edelman for basically calling him out without calling him out, like saying, hey, I get it. You're young. You probably don't understand. Let me educate you. But I guess that what that led into was, should a professional athlete be held accountable for his actions, this situation being his language choice and his word choice? Should he be held accountable on his private time?
Are you asking me that question, or are you just asking a generalized question?
Generalized.
Okay.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. So I ask you. You.
I thought you were proposing a question to me, and I was like, okay.
Well, I mean, both of us will answer.
You know what? And here's the thing: is I don't think it's necessarily going directly to a professional athlete. I think everybody should be held accountable for what they say.
Sure.
Everybody always says, well, I got freedom of speech. Well, you also have, you have freedom of speech. You can say whatever you want to say,
but you better be ready for the ramifications.
You got that right. God damn, you're right about that. So that's going to piss somebody off. I said that to listen to the show. Don't even say the word, but I'm just saying.
Nope.
But no, I think, and here's the thing is, like, when you are a professional athlete or somebody in
the spotlight,
a big standing and stuff like that, you are a person who captivates people.
Mm-hmm. They're watching you.
Yeah, and so it's kind of like one of those things, like, you're either going to sink or you're going to swim. This gentleman right here, and I don't even know. And like you said earlier before we started recording, he went on to say some other bullshit on, So my thing is yes, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do for a living, or anything like that. If you say it, you own it, and you you get the same retributions that everybody else would get.
Yeah.
So and the thing is when it comes to for that, I believe because he's a younger guy, and I think that maybe times have changed a little bit. I'd like to hope that they changed a little bit, but I think it was just out of ignorance that he said that. And you know what? If you don't know what you're talking about, or if you don't know what you mean,
keep your mouth shut.
Keep your damn mouth shut.
And to me, he proved his ignorance by what he was tweeting today. I certainly won't repeat what he said today, but I'll just say that it was along the same lines of what he said the other day about his anti-Semitic slur. He used the different slur.
Yeah,
so
I mean, just
he's a young punk,
not a very smart guy.
He's a young entitled punk. Should he be held accountable? Absolutely. And I think that the Heat are doing the right thing. They absolutely pulled him, and he's out indefinitely, and with no signs of him going to come back. So, which usually means that he's going to get dealt or he's going to get cut, and you probably won't see this guy in the NBA anymore anytime soon.
It's funny how we refer to him as this guy. You know what? When you make,
I've never heard of him.
When you make comments like that, I don't, you know, just like when we talk about the old regime, you make comments like this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even want to even speak your name
No.
because it's the way it is for me.
Here's another athlete who is the TikTok generation. His wife is all over TikTok. When they traded him from Portland to Miami, she was, all gung-ho about going to South Beach and Miami, here we come, blah, blah, blah. Stay off the social media. If you're a professional athlete, you don't have any business being on social media. And tell your significant other, keep your mouth shut. Don't put me under a spotlight.
If you've noticed in previous episodes when we've talked about TikTok, Tom is not a fan of TikTok. Right now, first half, 6:50 left to go in the game. Minnesota up 19-7 against Northwestern.
It was just 16-2.
Yeah.
A couple minutes ago, but no, not a fan of TikTok.
Yeah.
I think it's silly, and I think it's warped the minds of today's youth.
And
I may be considered old fashioned.
And another thing that happened this past week, since the last time we're on, former LSU coach, now former Kansas coach, Les Miles, has been relieved of his duties for something he is accused of. He has not been proven guilty by any means in the court of law. It's all based off of accusations of him doing naughty things with
kissing female students.
With female students. If he is in fact,
and he's like 60.
Oh, I know. It's like
kudos to him. Big shout out to Les Miles pulling that pay.
See, that's when you and I disagree.
I'm kidding.
That's where you and I.
I'm kidding. But he did say he was a mentor for female students. What the
fuck is a 60-year-old man a mentor?
What is the football coach at one of the top 5 football programs in the country? Why are you mentoring female students? You should be mentoring your team, your players.
Yeah, he probably should have spent more time.
Not playing with the cheerleaders.
No.
Did he do anything? Who knows? There's investigations now. When they were vetting him at Kansas, they did ask if there was anything in his past that they need to know about. And his agent said, we can't talk about it. So that should have been a red flag right there to Kansas, saying, well, you can't really tell me. Like, what are we looking at here?
So it was. He got accused. So he was not convicted.
But the investigation, there was an investigation going through the courts and whatnot.
Was there? I mean, this is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah, I read the story, and Les Miles.
I'm not. Here's the thing: I'm not sticking up for the guy.
No, absolutely not.
Wrong is wrong. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Wrong is wrong. If you use your authority to try to get your rocks off with hey, you want to come here and I'll teach you this, but
don't you know I have many leather-bound books?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, welcome to my library of leather-bound books. Hey,
come to my office.
Why don't you have a lay down on my leather couch and smell the rich mahogany desk I have? But but if he was tried, convicted, okay, but the accusations, they're accusations. He was never arrested, never punished at LSU, but still, it is fucking creepy.
Yeah, it's odd, but also today, what just came out before we started recording, They fired the AD as well.
Oh yeah,
they fired the athletic director.
Yep,
too.
I heard
so
that.
I mean, they want nothing to do with it. There's no fallout, so they're cleaning house at Kansas. But should he be held accountable for something that he was accused of 8 years ago? It's a touchy subject. It depends on what they do know. If in fact that there's no charges to come out, then maybe they jumped the gun a little bit. But in this day and age, it doesn't shock me.
No, it doesn't.
It does not shock me one bit.
So, you know what really shocks me right now? The fact that I'm almost done with this beer. But no, this is what really shocks me is
shock me.
So baseball. I tried to pull the video footage of it and I couldn't get a really good shot of it, but Grayson Griner got smoked with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball in the face. He broke his nose.
He's a catcher in the Tigers organization.
Yeah. And he's competing for the backup job because, he's not going to get the starting job.
No.
But, I mean, he's going against Jake Rogers and trying to get that position. But holy smokes, man. And,
first pitch.
They showed the picture of him. His nose looks like a question mark, and his face is all swelled and purple. But you know what?
It looks like he's a hockey player.
But you know what they said? They said that he'd be back in about a week.
That's
so.
Remarkable.
I mean, yeah, from a broken nose, and and that's the thing is like you think about it now. You look back and you see when Carlos Correa took one, Jacoby Jones took one in the face.
Oh yeah.
Stanton took one in the face.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so that's a big thing where now they got the C flap.
The C flap. They're going to see that more and more. But now, does that make him a little bit gun shy in the box?
Well, let me ask: would it make you feel a little gun shy?
You bet your ass.
Yeah,
I bet your ass. But I don't, make his money.
And getting with the Tigers a little bit. They're exceeding my expectations in spring training.
6-3.
Yeah.
They're second place in the Grapefruit League. I mean, it's.
They're not.
Spring
they're not
training, but they've looked well. They've looked good.
They're not. I mean, they're not. They're not burning the bridges as they run out of town. But I'm very surprised.
They have the young talent that in a couple years, I think can end up being a lot like the 2006 team, to where they started developing homegrown talent. They developed it. They let them mature in the minors, which I don't always agree with. But they're building something pretty good as far as a pitching staff is concerned. And then you flip the switch with their hitting, with Torkelson, with Riley Green. They've got a lot of young talent that they can build around. And yeah, Willie Castro.
Yeah.
He's going to be the name that you're going to hear this year. He's going to be somebody to reckon with. So the Tigers, realistically, are they going to finish first? No. Are they going to finish last? I don't think so.
No.
I think the Spiders down in Cleveland are going to finish last. And I think they're going to compete. The Tigers are going to compete, and they're going to give a lot of hope around here that we haven't really hung on to that much. And Chappie saying, he loves Heimer Candelario,
the candy man.
Yeah, I mean, he had a little streak last year. Then once he got out of it, he was unstoppable. So I do think they have the pieces to, they might come within 10 games of 500. Hell, they might even hit 500. We'll see. And all that depends on pitching. So, but offensively, yeah, I mean, they are going to be fun to watch. They've got even an outfield that you never know. And with AJ Hinch, I wouldn't sleep on him. I like Hinch. He's a hell of a coach. He's used to developing a young squad, and he did that in Houston, and they built what they had in Houston.
Garbage can gate.
Well, okay. But what I'm saying is he had young homegrown talent that literally went from the dumpster to World Series championship in 2 years. So there's hope. There's hope around here.
Do you know who's not going to make it to spring training this year?
Oh, boy.
Do you know who's not going to make spring training this year?
Oh, boy. His post-baseball has not been well for Mr. Johnny Damon.
Oh man, this guy here. Oh my gosh! So this happened in February. So they were down in Florida, and you know what?
I think they live down in Florida.
Hey, and just because I'm that guy, I got the footage from the body cam.
Boy.
So here it is.
What you had to drink tonight?
A little bit.
Just a little bit?
Yeah.
All right. So,
Yeah.
a couple reasons I'm stopping you. One, while I've been behind you, you've left your lane multiple times. Just stay there. Okay, while I've been behind you, you've left your lane multiple times, and you actually struck the curb at one point on Main Street. And then the stop sign back there, you stopped all the way past the stop bar, the white line on the ground, you have to stop behind it. Hey, shut your door. Stay in the car. Stay in the car.
Right.
Stay there. Hey, stay there. Sir. Sir. Stay back over there. Listen to me. Step over there.
Okay,
Stay in the car.
Okay, all I'm saying
Stay in the car.
All I'm saying is,
Stay in the. Get back in the car.
are you
go
kidding
in
me?
the
Right
car.
Stay there. Hey,
I'm telling
Hey.
her to go in the car.
go. Stand over here.
Hey, we are right
Stand
there.
over here.
We are right there.
Get back in the car.
All right, it's
Get
fine.
back in-
I'm going to talk
Get
to
back
the-
in the car.
All right, don't touch me.
Yeah.
Don't touch me.
Let go.
Don't
Let
fucking
go.
touch me. Don't touch me.
Let go.
Don't touch me.
No, hey, stop. Stop.
Fighting 1-2, actually.
Hey, we are at
Stop.
home
Turn
right
around.
now.
Turn around. Turn around.
We
Turn
are,
around.
we are,
Turn around.
okay, we are at home right now. I don't know what you are doing.
Face the car.
Okay.
I'm saying.
Get down on the ground right now.
Hey, babe, walk home. Walk
Hey,
home.
secure her right now.
No,
Bat Leo.
hey, babe.
Stupid Johnny. Do it for Johnny.
Johnny Damon, come on, man.
Wow.
Hey, listen here.
Do you think his career, he learned a lot to drink like that coming to Detroit
You know,
when they overpaid him?
yeah,
Come here.
probably. But here's the thing: is all that money that you make, all that money you
Yep.
got,
Get a fucking driver.
duh, dude. Uber. You know what? Uber would have cost you. You know what it is? It's pride.
Well, he wanted to drive his new Navi.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, that was beautiful. Beautiful.
And by the way, so I want to say that I like when we put video clips in because it allows me to refill my tasty beverage.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Boom.
So, anyway,
Shit, yeah.
so we're gonna probably in the next couple weeks or so. Oh boy.
Oh no.
He's chiming in.
There
He's
you go.
chiming in.
Oh yeah, you got that right, Dan.
Johnny the dumbass.
You got that right.
Is that going back from his days in Cleveland? Is that or is that just you? You know,
I don't think it's probably his time in Boston. You know, Pops is not a fan of the old Boston Red Sox, being a Spiders fan that he is.
oh man, that's awesome. But yeah, so you would think that you would have a driver that would take you from point A to point B, especially if you're hanging out and having a couple pops.
Well, it
See,
looked like
now,
he had a lot more than a couple.
like here. So we're hanging out here at the Speakeasy. I have a driver that takes me home.
mm-hmm.
It's called My Feet,
Yep.
and it's about 25 steps.
Couple days though, walking out of here, I was worried.
No.
I didn't know if you were going to make it those 25 feet.
What about what about the chasing the dog down the street event?
Oh boy.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Rich turned into Carl Lewis.
Oh, man.
Before my eyes, it was a thing of beauty.
If you guys ever want to see something funny, is watch me chase down a Shiba Inu down the street at midnight in the cold, snow, ice.
Fubard.
Did not fall, but we got the dog though, with some help though.
I don't know how you got that far,
Yeah.
that fast, but you did it.
So
And we picked you up in the truck.
So we do have a exciting weekend of basketball tournaments with the Big Ten tournament coming up. Michigan plays on Friday, and then
Michigan State plays
Michigan
tomorrow.
State plays tomorrow. And then
The Selection Sunday
Yep.
will be Sunday. So
Oh yeah, Selection Sunday. So make sure that you guys check out iLogic Media. They're going to do a bracket show on the 14th. So that'll be a good one.
yeah, because the tournament, they're doing it a little different this year. The first 4, which is usually played down in Dayton, usually is a Tuesday, Wednesday, because it's actually like the first 8. This year they're doing 4. They're doing that Thursday, so the tournament's going to start Friday and go till Monday in the first and second round. So it's a little different this year. It looks like they're going to wrap up the whole tournament in 2.5 weeks. I guess it's a cool thing, but a lot of people will take off Friday and watch basketball Thursday night, the late games, and then watch basketball all day Friday. So I think some of the plans will be changed, but it's still going to be a hell of a tournament, all being played in the state of Indiana, which will be really neat to see. So they're going into a bubble, basically. I heard today.
Yeah.
They are going to be bubbled for, what could be, 4 to 5 weeks. So,
Oh, well,
It'll be
if you got to get it done, you got to get it done. But let me give an interesting fact.
oh,
You ready for this
I
interesting
like
factoid?
facts. Bring it to me.
The first weekend of the tournament, March Madness,
Mhm.
first weekend, is the busiest weekend.
In Vegas.
No,
No.
it is the busiest weekend, that Friday, Thursday, actually that Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday for guys going to get a vasectomy.
Oh,
True story. Look it up.
is this because they get clipped and then they get to take a couple days off work?
You get clipped, and then you really have a lot of discomfort of moving around.
And you want somebody waiting on you hand and foot?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Lunchtime, kids!
Yes.
All right! I made some jelly sandwiches and sliced up some cantaloupe. Lunch?
So that's
That is an interesting fact that you won't hear on the regular sports radio.
no, of course not.
But you're
would
going to
you?
hear it here on
Yeah,
the Easy Speak.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah.
The most obscure information, you're gonna get it here.
So, fellas, if you want to get clipped, if you know what I mean, if you want to stop the old childbearing, I suggest getting the appointment. You got about a week. You got about a week before the tournament tips, so you can go clipped and sit
Yeah.
and have a good time sitting on a bag of peas.
So I want to answer a question. That is true, Jay. That is 100% true. And I need to catch up with you this weekend because I got a hat for you because you asked nicely.
Yeah, we got some new hats.
So Jay, I'm gonna give you a backstory about Jay. Jay's a good dude, super good dude. He is very knowledgeable when it comes to grass and turf. He actually has some really good stories that I'm not going to say now because I don't want to blow it because I want Jay to come on.
So
and do a pod with us.
We're going to do an Easy Speak grass cast.
No, he's got a lot of cool stories. I'll just say I'll leave it at that because I don't want to blow it.
And unlike you,
Jay, you want to come on? Just give me a yes in the comments, and then we'll figure something out.
Unlike you, Rich, I'm a man who enjoys a well manicured lawn. So
And coming from a guy who doesn't cut his grass,
this is correct. So, but I enjoy the work that my guy does. So, that would be fun to do.
Yeah, he's
Hear
got
his
he's
little
got
tips
some,
and tricks.
he's got some good stuff. So
The Easy Speak grass cast,
ooh, grass cast.
not that kind of grass.
No. So, all right. Well, anyway, it's getting close to the end here, and let's talk about something. So, last week we went to the butchery and got some tasty stuff. And Tom, how would you rate that burger that you got from there?
So I went with the Mick O'Brien. It was
It's corned beef brisket.
Yeah, corned beef and brisket mixed.
Yep. And then regular brisket mixed.
The best hamburger I've ever had in my life.
Yeah, you say Christina demolished half.
Yeah,
no time.
Yeah, we have had the 3B around here, and Christina was not necessarily not a fan of it. She just thought it was too big. This burger was the right size. The flavor was unbelievable, juicy. And the one thing about Chef Dave's burgers, you put them on the grill, you take them off the grill, they're the same size. A lot of times you'll put a burger on and a grill. I mean, on the Blackstone, not on the grill. You put the burger on, and it shrinks, and the bun is twice the size of the burger. With Chef Dave at the butchery, you're going to get a burger that from the time it hits the griddle to the time you take it off, it's the same size. Unbelievable. So then I followed up the next morning with some of his Detroit bacon, which is a mesquite smoke flavor bacon, very thick cut.
That's good stuff. I've had it before.
And I obviously sparked up the old Blackstone for that one. And I had people driving by looking at like, what's going on in this place? What is going on? The smells coming off that thing were unbelievable. But then the bacon itself, you need to get out to the butchery. It was unreal.
Yeah, if you get a chance to get out there, you give it a shot.
This isn't your Bob Evans bacon or your going to Kroger or anything like that. This is the real deal. Holyfield bacons.
But you know what though? Here's the thing that I forgot that we both really wanted to talk about. About a year ago today is when everything shut down,
which led to where we are today.
Yeah, I mean, what we really want to know is what have we learned? What we learned. I've learned that
people are disgusting. People are disgusting.
Yeah. So I've learned that. Also. Hopefully, normalcy will return soon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I missed last year not being able to, my boys and we have an annual trip where we go and see a different baseball stadium. That didn't happen this year. It might happen because some of the stadiums, as of right now, are allowing fans back in. The Tigers are allowing right around 1,000 fans to come in.
I'm hoping that'll change. That'll go up.
One Major League Baseball team says we're not allowing any fans, and that'd be the Washington Nationals. I expect, I feel, and I hope I feel right that, as the rest of the year progresses, the season progresses, as the vaccine is more readily available for everybody, not just our elderly. We started off with our elderly, high at risk people. I think right now it's 50 and up.
Very happy to hear my mom and dad were administered their first dose, and they'll get their last dose here in the next couple of weeks. Very happy to hear that.
Yeah, and one of the things that really doesn't surprise me because they lifted the mask mandate is that Globe Life Park is going to allow full capacity. That right there, I would not put myself in that situation to where I would go to a game and really not knowing who I was sitting around or who I could potentially be exposed to. But, the thing that I always think in the back of my mind is it's got a high recovery rate, but however, we don't know what the long lasting effects are just because it's new and,
sure.
Data is still being compiled and stuff like that. Given the opportunity, will I get the vaccination? Given the opportunity, I most likely would.
Yeah. Me too.
I've still got a little more research to do on it, but
and
this is coming from a guy who's never gotten.
I've never had a flu shot.
I've never gotten flu shots or anything like that. So,
and all indications are end of May there'll be enough shots for every adult American.
Yeah.
So that gives us hope. I'm a concert guy. Mr. Pettit, who was chiming in early. We had lots of plans last year of going to shows at the Machine Shop in Flint. That didn't happen, which is very disappointing.
Yeah.
So we're definitely hoping that we get a chance to do that again. So there's definitely hope. I guess the question was, would you, go to a public place, even if you weren't vaccinated? if given the chance to go to a Tiger game, if there's only 1,000 people, I'll do it.
I'll go.
And I'll, we go to the restaurant, whatnot, put the mask on, you sit down, you take it off. I mean, that's
and here's the thing is, if I had to wear a mask, even at a baseball game, it wouldn't bother me. It's just kind of one of those things, like, it really puts into perspective the things that you really enjoy when you couldn't do it. And then, last year was a prime thing that you couldn't go to a baseball game. You couldn't do this or you couldn't do that. I mean, I still watch baseball because I have two boys that play competitive baseball, and I was able to see some really good baseball here locally. Not only with my kids, but there was other avenues to see games. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, we can get to the point to where we can go, and my boys really want to go to a game at Citi Field or Yankee Stadium this summer. They that's one of the things they've been talking about day in and day out. That's where they want to go. That's what they want to see. If it's an option, I'm going to try to make it happen, but baby steps and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
definitely and if there's one thing I have learned in the last year is just appreciate the people you're around. You don't realize how much.
You're not going to cry, are you?
I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. You don't realize how much, the people in your inner circle mean to you, and what relationships really mean, and how they really help you. And especially with me, I had a big change in my life. And if it wasn't for my circle that I was around, you know what, it wouldn't have been that easy. So I definitely appreciate the few people that are in my world that help me be who I am. And definitely when the doors open, more and more people come in, you're going to appreciate those relationships as well. So
yeah, for sure. So on that note, please give us a like on Facebook, give us a like on YouTube, subscribe to iLogic Media and get updates on all the shows that are available.
Lots of good content on the iLogic Media.
I found myself watching the Grumpy Bunny today, looking at
he was making
meatballs and some junk cookies that are gluten-free, good for our buddy Mr. Ivisol.
Oh,
so and I did pass that along to him.
And shout out to Mike Ivisol and Mr. Sean Pelegian for saying hello to us while they were broadcasting some high school hockey. So cheers to you, Mike and Sean.
Oh yeah, got a shout out from those guys. So
that was really cool.
So it's always good. So on that note, I think we should say farewell, and
bon voyage.
And we will definitely.
We'll see everybody this weekend. Not sure if it'll be Saturday or Sunday, but stay tuned. We'll let you know.
It'll be Sunday. I'll just tell you right now.
Okay, Sunday.
All
right, we out.
We out, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Easy Speak at Speakeasy 330.